Today, we're going to be learning how to create this beautiful continuous scroll animation. The idea behind this is that you have like a list of carousel, whether images or text. So you can achieve this animation with text, images, or any element at all that you want to use. So here are the images I used and the cards. So if you see, each of the cards are in a list of their own, right? So if I open up this now, you'll see the idea behind it. So you have like repeated element, then you repeat it on the other end, and then you get to connect them with your prototype feature here in Figma. So what you're going to do is that I'm going to try to recreate the first design here, and then you can duplicate them for the next element in case you want to know how to create this card styling here. So for example, if you want to create, you can draw your shape 64 and then just fill it with white so it can be visible. I want us to do exactly like we did here. This is the design that is scrolling here. So I'm just going to duplicate it so we can recreate this. So I'm going to, the height is 598 and the width is 513. So let's just do that. 598, 513, 513, 513. Okay, so you don't necessarily need to leave Figma to get the items we need. You can just go use Figma plugin to get the images that we know we need to use. If you don't know how to efficiently use Figma yet, I uploaded a crash course on how to use Figma last week, so you can check the video out, and then I believe the video has everything you need to know or you need to learn to get started with using Figma. So I can just type randomly portrait image and then search. So it's going to show me images here. I can select this one. I like this one. Let me just duplicate the images, like 4. I need 4 images to achieve that scroll. So I can select this one as well. Yeah, select this one. So you can see the way I'll select the shape or the element I want to load the image into, and then load it. So I'm just selecting lady. I think we can just maybe like shuffle it with guys and ladies, so it won't be like it's only guys images that we are using. I think this is okay, makes sense. The next step is for us to design this classic card on here. So I'm just going to, okay, let's design the card first. So, but I want to know the dimensions of the card. So the card is 498, 362 by 498. So we're just going to draw another rectangle, right? So can measure it 362 by 498. I hope 498. Because our corner radius is 64, with the corner radius for this, we can make it 32. That means half of the container's corner radius, so that has to make it balanced, right? So I place it on the image and then I reduce. I can make it gradient. I want to make it gradient. So if you notice this color is coming, consider this place is kind of more white than here. Here it looks as if it's fading away, just like that beautiful and subtle gradient feel. So we can just do the same here. So I turn it to this, and then this one can make it white and then reduce the opacity, right, to probably 5. I don't want to make it 100% 5. I mean 0%. Then this one can also make it white and then reduce the opacity to maybe like 20, just to have that subtle glassy feel on the image. And then we can also create a stroke and then make it gradient feel. The same thing we did for this. But the stroke, we're not going to touch the other end. You can make this 100% and then 0%. That means the ones on this edge, they are 0%. Going to grab this. Basically, how I created this text was you creating the first text and then creating the second one. Then you create auto layer. Just select the text. So let me bring them out. So you create the first text, which is this one, and the size is 64. This one is 20. You select both of them, and then you can see add auto layout, create auto layouts for you. I'm going to center them, and I'm going to let me just reduce this so that the space will not be too much. I think it has padding. Yeah, 12. I don't want to have space between them, or maybe just create a little space like 4. Yeah. So, and I'm going to call this text. You place the text on the image, and then this one, I think I'm just going to borrow this text here, right? Just basically creating a text and then putting it in a frame, right? In a frame that doesn't have a container. You can see that doesn't have a field. Sorry, it doesn't have a field. So I can do this, and then the bottom 24. Yeah, I think everything looks okay on this card. Everything looks okay on this card. I'm going to select everything, right? And then I'll right click and then frame selection, and I'll call it image. So I'm going to fast forward this now, and then create the remaining ones. So I want to create the last one. So if you notice, I'm just copying and then replacing the image. So I'll just select the image by pressing Ctrl and then selecting the image directly, and then paste to replace, right? So we are done with this. I'm not going to be replacing the content or all. I just want us to see how I created this glassy fill images or image cards, right? So we are done creating. Just going to eliminate these guys. Then I'm going to select them and then make sure that we have enough space in between them, and then right click and then add auto layout. You can see the reason I'm adding auto layout is so that I can just resize them appropriately, right? I'm still going to remove the auto layout when we start design. So I'm going to call this image. I like naming my elements so it's easier for me to identify them when I'm looking for anyone. So you can see we've created these amazing cards and it's looking good. Just ignore the names. We're just focusing on the image cards. So now that we've created it, I'm going to select, make sure your container is on auto layout. If it's not, might shift a lot of things, right? I'm going to position this here and I'm going to drag my ruler. If your ruler is not visible, just come to this place and select rulers. If it's not selected, you can select it. Just come here, select your rulers. So I'll make sure my ruler is selected, and then I can click inside my cards and select them by pressing down on Shift, copy, and then I'll paste, right? I'll paste it again. You can see I pasted, and I'm going to duplicate this now. Remember, just make sure that everything is well aligned. I'm going to paste it now, and then I will then remove the auto layout here. To remove an auto layout from your elements, just click here and then remove auto layout. And then I'm going to reduce, remember, I'm reducing the container width. You can see the container width is being reduced. So I'm reducing it to 21, 24, or you can just reduce it and make sure that it ends where the number 4 card ended, right? So, and then I'm going to select this one as well, and then select all the elements. I'm pressing down on Shift and selecting them, pressing down on Shift and selecting them. Then I'm going to use my arrow key to nudge it. So pressing down on Shift, okay, it still has auto layout. Sorry, I'm going to remove the auto layout. Make sure that for it to actually move when you are trying to reposition them, when you are trying to shift them or move them, you have to remove the auto layout here. So I'm going to I've selected them and I'm going to move them with my left arrow key. So I'm moving them to the left. If you're moving to the right, you use your right arrow key. What is going to happen is that I'm going to align this number 1 here with this number 1 at the top, right? That's just the idea behind it. So I'm going to align this one, right, with this number 1 here. So make sure that you align them well, that they are on the same alignment. So I'm going to keep shifting it. Let's zoom in more to make sure that we got it. I'm going to reduce this width of this and then clip content. I want to hide everything that is outside of this container, and the same thing applies to this one. I want to hide everything outside of this container. Now that I've done that, I'm going to select both of them and I'm going to create component sets. So if you don't know anything about components, or if you don't know how to create components or use components, I created a video, I think last year, on component edited video. I'm sure you should be able to walk through and learn a lot of things from that video. So I'm going to click on this, and then we've created a component set. Now we'll come to our prototype. The first one, the first card at the top, I'm going to select it and connect it to this one. Now, the animation style is going to be after delay. The animation style is going to be smart animate. So at the top, the delay is going to just be 1 second, and then the curve style is going to be linear, and then the duration is going to be, we want to make it, we want to pop it up to a higher number. I can do maybe like 10,000, so that it can scroll. If you notice, if you take a look at this animation, I say the way it's scrolling smoothly and subtly, right? We don't want it to be too fast. If you use a lesser number, it might actually be too fast, but I want it to be slow and just be scrolling in a smooth way. So the second one, we're going to return the connection, and this time around it's also going to be after delay, and then the duration is going to be, or delay timing is going to be 1 second. But this time around, instead of smart animate, we're going to use instant, so that when it scrolls to the end of the image at this edge, right, the hidden edge, it will just change immediately to this one without you actually noticing. Now that we've done that, we're just going to come here and then drag the image out. Do I have it here? Or I can just drag it out from here, right, and then paste it here. So let's just paste it here and then try it out. Just going to nicely paste it here and then center it. Let's try it and see if it's working. So I'm going to play it now. Yeah, I think it's working. Yeah, it's working. See, it's really working. So the reason our own is on full screen. I want to make it to full screen so that to be like what we had before. And you can see we've created this beautiful scrolling animation in just minutes. You can use text for your animation. Let's say you want to do for text, I can just say product design, product, maybe just add a little bit stuff here. Let's add something like color here. I think this color is okay. We can make this bolder, and then make it white. Then turn it into auto layout. So just add auto layout from here, or you right click and then add auto layout. So let's say this is what we have. You can make the spacing between this dot and this, and then call this text, and then I can just duplicate it. I can call this one web design, let me just make it web design. I can call this one web development, and then which other thing can we say? You can call this one product management, whatever it is. I hope it's correct spelling. So I can just take this and then group it and then turn it into auto layout. Right click and add auto layout, and then I want to change the layout. I want it to be horizontally placed, and then hug content, and the spacing between them we can do maybe like 24. You should hug content, you should hug, this should be okay. It's extended now. So now that we have this, we can call this container. Select this one, and then just like we did before, we paste it, right? Paste it, and then when we paste it, we remove the auto layout, right? Or you right click and then remove the auto layout, whichever one you want to do. It's easy that way. So we now select, but make sure that when you are selecting, let's align this so that, and use our ruler as well. Make sure that when you are selecting that they are on the same horizontal alignment or vertical alignment, I mean, right? So select this one. Where did this one end? This one ended in product management. So we are going to move this product design to meet this product design here. So I'm going to place down on my shift key so it can move faster. So I'm nudging it with my arrow key, left arrow key. Once we get to the product design, we'll make sure that it aligns. So I'll keep nudging. Now I'm using my small nudge. I'm not pressing down on shift, which is why it's not moving too fast. So we move to make sure that everything aligns nice. So now that we've moved it, we're going to reduce the width of this to meet this product management end, right? We're going to reduce the width to make sure that it's at the edge of this. So we have this, voila, and then we can cut off. We click content so that we can cut off the excess ones. The same thing applies to this one. We're going to reduce it to this, right? Make sure that we reduce it to reduce it to this. Yeah, this one is 2661, so they are equal. The width are equal. So I'm going to select the both of them now. Select both of them and then create component set. The same what's it called? The same animation we give to this one, or the same animation we gave to this one. That's the same animation we're going to repeat here. So I'm going to connect this to this. Then after delay, we do that. Then delay it 1 second. Type of animation is smart animate, linear, and dental. So it still retains the previous values that we gave to the previous animation. Then we can return it again. We can return this and then make it smart animate again. And then this time around, make it 1 second. And then this time around is going to be instant. So we don't need it to have delays. And then if you copy this now and paste in our design, you're going to see that it's moving like really well. So with these two designs now, you can see we've created like awesome or something. Looking at this now, I don't know if I should make the text bold, because these guys already like have like bold faces. And also I'm going to clip this and select the text itself by pressing down on shift and control at the same time. So I can just multi-select them, and I'm going to make them regular. You can see it's regular over there. I'm going to select them again and probably reduce the opacity of the text to maybe like 80. I don't want it to be too visible, or maybe 60. Yeah, or 50 or 40 even. Yeah, I think it's looking good over there, right? If you notice as I'm making the changes, because it's a component. So I'm going to click it back and then do the same for this. I'm going to unclip this, right? I'm going to unclip this, you can see it there. And then I'm going to press down on shift and control, select this, select this, select this, select this. I'm going to select this, and select this as well, and then change it to regular. And then the opacity, we can make it 40 like we did for the other ones. And then we can click to hide the, what's it called? The ones that are outside of the container. So if we go back now, you notice that we'll see that our text, okay, I think we need to adjust some certain things. Let's adjust this and move it to the top so we can have like enough spacing between them. This is one of the ways to actually spice up your design. Instead of just creating a static design, you can use this, you can use some of these animation features to give life to your work. You can see just from that static design that we had earlier, we are able to create this amazing scrolling animation, which has given another feel to the design. In my next tutorial, we're going to be redesigning this old looking website, and we're going to be making it to be more modern. Turn on your notifications so you know when I upload the video next week. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.